There it is, example 1, sponsored by this elephant. There is example 1. Oh, it's too bad that we can see on the side here, if we go up, the elephant's still there at the top. Okay. Yeah. So. Whoa, and what happened? Did I hit the wrong button? Now we've lost example 1 completely.
Go back to the elephant.
Oh, it's like trying to find an elephant in a haystack. No, that's not. All right, we'll go back to the elephant. That should. There's the elephant. Here's example 1. There we go. All right. So we're going to graph different transformations of sine, cos, and tan. And so far we've only learned sine and cos, and they become our parent graphs just like in our transformations unit. So what would happen if you had a 2/3 in front of sine? You would multiply your y values by 2/3, right? So as far as the graph goes, one thing that we're going to notice is on our sine graph normally went to 1 and -1. And now that there's a 2/3 out in front, instead of going up to 1, it's going to go up to 2/3 and down to -2/3. Now this question doesn't ask us to graph it, but we're going to graph it each time just to help us get used to that. Again, how do we graph things? We're going to split the x-axis into 4 equal sections, and you're going to always label your period along there. Now the period of sine is 2 pi, so we're going to label 2 pi and divide it into 4 equal sections. And then on your parent graph for sine always started on the center line. Okay? We're going to change, we're not going to say it starts at 0, because sometimes we're going to move it up and down, but it will always start on the center line. So when we go to graph this one, it's going to start on our center line and go up to the maximum, down to the center line, down to the minimum, back to the center line. And this will be how we'll graph it. And so for part A, our amplitude is 2/3. For part B, if we were graphing part B, now there's a 4 out in front. In fact, there's a -4 out in front. What kind of transformation would that do? It would flip it and then multiply our y values by 4. Because everything is outside of our parent graph, so it's affecting the y values. So now, it's going to go all the way up to 4 and all the way down to -4. And if we were graphing this, the period of cos is still 2 pi, and you're going to divide it into 4 equal sections. And when we're thinking about our parent graph for cos normally starts at a maximum. And if you look back in your notes at your graph of cos, you'll see that cos starts at its maximum. But because we had that negative in front, what's going to happen? It's going to get flipped. So because of that negative, it's going to start at a minimum. And because we always separate in 4 sections, because it's going to go minimum, center line, maximum, center line, minimum. And even though there was a -4 out in front, what is your amplitude? Amplitude is still +4. So that negative in front means that it's flipped, means that your cos graph is starting at a minimum instead of a maximum, But our amplitude, when we are asked for amplitude, is always positive. Okay, questions we can do for this one are 3, A and B, 4, 5, and 9.